I mean, we just run with it, whatever.
I think you should be able to see it now.
Well, it is what it is. Let's yeah, man, go into the next one, though.
So, this is our first whatever stream.
Oh.
Just kidding. JK, JK.
Oh, this guy right here. Yeah.
Genders are like twin towers. 19 years ago, there were two of them. There used to be two. Now it's just a sensitive subject.
Ain't that the truth?
I mean, we talked about this before, but if you had to explicitly pronounce your like gender and stuff, like even like Dave Chappelle said, like you're being a little extra.
Yeah.
Can you see it? I think it's live right now.
Hopefully. Oh, this is amazing.
Oh, he said Glizzy.
Glizzy Frank, bro.
Yeah.
Glizzy Frank, let's go. You know? But yeah, so this dude basically ate nothing but Costco hot dogs for a week and lost like 5 pounds. With the soda. He was drinking like basically like...
Well, it's calorie intake and calorie outtake, right?
It is. I mean, he probably felt like shit for sure.
Like, don't look at his ankles.
Yeah.
Don't look at his ankles because they probably had gout. That's a lot of pork in there. That's a lot of fucking pork. Like, and diabetes. They didn't check his vitals. Yeah. Is it good right now?
I have no idea, man. We're going blind right now. But you know what? Like, this whole thing is like, it's basically, the reason the show works is like, we just have conversations. So we'll just have the conversation. If it works, it works. If not, then we'll figure it out. You know, no big deal.
Yeah.
Is what it is. Let's do one more meme here.
Yeah. So, can't believe they said Lizzie Frank in there. Okay.
This guy. No. This right there. Yeah. Boom. I love this.
Whoa, bro.
Right in the non-binaries.
Sister girlfriend, like fucking. You think she got turned on by that? Like it was like a little bit of bored in her.
It's a little rough. You know,
a little bit of bored in her taint. Like if she was a dude, like you'd be like, "Oh, my fucking balls."
You know what's funny about that? All right, so
but she's like, "Oh, my pussy hurts."
Here's the thing, man. If you had like a wrestling move, you know, like every wrestler has to have like a wrestling move. Like, what would your wrestling move be?
The stunner, Stone Cold Stunner.
You can't steal somebody, so you have to make up your own.
Oh, just like punch him in the nose, then. That would be my Shawn. What's his name? The Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels.
Sweet chin music.
Just kicked him in the face.
Yeah.
Just kicked him in the face, and that was when D-Generation X, Xbox 2 did like a roundhouse kick, like the X thing, and like honestly, that would have been like the best like wrestling move. But the best wrestling move is the fucking pile driver.
Oh, dude, that thing is gnarly. Yeah, that thing is gnarly.
Like, that's an indie wrestling move.
Yeah, I don't know why it's not popping up right now, but it's fine. Whatever. Personally, mine would be Tainted Love. And what I would do is I'd basically just like paint somebody. From the top rope, of course.
If we're going to talk about the best wrestling, it was actually Rikishi, and he fucking put him up against the ropes, and then just like fucking ran and stuck his ass in their face.
Mm.
Like that shit was crazy. That was Rikishi Fatu.
Like that was yeah, who's like actually like oddly related to like The Rock and all those guys. Like there's like a whole history behind like there's a family basically,
Yeah.
right, of wrestlers and things like that. Anyway, let's get off the Musubi and memes, man. Let's just talk some shit. You know, actually, this would be a fun one, I think. So we were talking about this last time. It's like your favorite drink to have.
Yeah.
And I think we got to battle it. You know, like we got to go fantasy football style.
Yeah.
Right? You pick, I pick. And since I'm actually prefacing this, I'm going to let you take the first pick. Number one pick in the draft is
whiskey and ginger ale. That's what I order at a bar.
You know, that speaks to that though, because like honestly, like if you're gonna have a night at Jameson Ginger, that's my go-to. Right? It's a counter to the Jack and Coke. You know what I mean? But like if you're having a night, karaoke, whatever it may be, Jameson Ginger, that's where I'm going.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I'm seeing that goes on.
Yeah. Oh. So you're leaving this open for me though. So I'm actually gonna go ahead and pick my number one pick's gotta be a margarita. Because you can have daytime, you can have nighttime, you can have whatever you want, and I like a good margarita. You know what I mean?
I would like that too, but I don't know, like too much sugar in a margarita.
Yeah, I mean, we made some like nice little ones right here.
Well, there's a difference between mezcal and tequila. I like a little bit. I like a little bit of smoke in my tequila.
For sure. I actually like a little bit of spice. I had a spicy margarita the other day as a habanero one. That thing burnt the fuck out of my lips.
Yeah.
Like I could not, like I had one of them and I was like, dude, give me some water. What is going on here?
I like a good spice. I like the smoothness of a drink though. So like if I'm going out, Jameson Ginger is an easy thing to say. And not only an easy thing to say, like it tastes delicious to me.
Sure. All right. Well, then let's get into your number two then.
Two. Just to spite you, I'm not going to say margarita. Just because.
You can't. It's already off the table.
Yeah.
That's my pick.
A fan a little bit. I've been making some mojitos lately.
I like the idea of mojito, but I don't love mojitos.
It's so much labor in the drink.
Dude.
Like, why am I meddling this fucking mint right now?
Yeah.
Like, and I was like, I don't even know what meddling means, but yeah.
It's muddling.
Oh, muddling. Yeah. I'm muddling the fucking mint in the bottom of the glass so the mint gets more flavor in the drink. And that's just some bullshit right there. That's just like too much work. Like, do I have to put out my mashed potato fucking same utensil to do mashed potatoes to like muddle this mint right now? Or am I just using a wooden spoon? I'm probably using a wooden spoon. But
see, like I don't love rum either. Like
I don't like rum either.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like anytime I drink rum, it's gonna be like a bad time.
I'm not gonna lie. I thought I was gonna be able to get Jameson Ginger down the road, which apparently no. So I'm gonna take my second pick as a post-hike beer. I think is fucking money. You know what I mean? Like just did something, grab that beer.
We're not talking about the situations right now.
No, dude, situations matter. Situations matter. But a post-hike beer, man, it hits a little different. You know what I mean?
Post-hike anything. Like, you get your fucking... You have your jeans dirty. You have, like... You feel that accomplishment. Like, yeah, we did this hike. Like, we're going to Ka'au Crater or, like, some shit like that. Like,
yeah.
Fucking... You feel accomplished. Like, you see a bunch of waterfalls. You're tired. The beer does taste better.
Yeah.
But in that situation, what beer are you going to then? You can't just say a post hike beer. Like, are you doing a post hike like fucking Coors Light?
No, no, not at all. I think I'm definitely doing like it's probably like an IPA.
Well, IPA,
Yeah,
right?
like an IPA, like right off the bat.
Just I'm in that same camp. Like fucking people hating IPAs. They're heavy beers, but Stone Pale Ale, bro.
The thing with the IPA is like it literally is kind of one of those things though, where it's like it's good. It tastes, like it hits the spot, but it's like you can really only have like 2 or 3 of those, and then you're kind of like, what the fuck did I just do?
You feel full. You feel full.
Dude, yeah.
Like there's a little extra hops in that situation.
Definitely.
Like you got to be a man that appreciates the hops.
Can't wear gloves in the gym and drink IPAs. No fucking way.
If you wear gloves and drink IPAs in the gym, they'll be like, that would be gangster. I wouldn't even know what to like. I'd be like, oh shit, this guy's either gonna lift like 450 pounds or he's gonna drop the bar on his chin. And he's probably gonna drop the bar on his chin. Like
Chances are high.
Chances are high. Not because he's dropping the IPA.
Hit me with your number 3.
Number 3 drinks. Like, are we talking drinks and beers or?
Yeah, like whatever you want, man. You can pick whatever you want.
Yeah. So I would say my number 3 mixed drink. Number 3 mixed drink is a vodka cranberry.
Dude. Wow. I mean,
we're talking mixed drinks. We're not talking beers. Like, I'll take a beer. I'm a beer drinker guy.
Yeah.
But the worst thing about
Jets.
Oh, nice. We got a little Musubi and me chats. My man. Oh, IG. Well, just gonna type Instagram in here because we're not used to the chats. Yeah.
Well, I'm just gonna get into my next drink.
How do we get?
Since you went vodka cran, which is fucking weird to me, but you know the.
Well, I'm gonna take it one more after you say this. Like, if your girl goes to Starbucks and gets a coffee, or not even a coffee and shit like that, like not even has to be Starbucks, but we all know that girls love getting coffees at like fucking any place, local coffee place. Yeah, local coffee places, local anything. Like, if you're gonna get a drink at Starbucks and it's a hot day outside, I would say, I'm gonna interrupt on this, but I love the fucking strawberry raspberry, like fucking, because I'm not trying to get a coffee right there. I'm trying to have a cool, refreshing drink.
That's what it's called. It's called a refresher.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's green tea. It's like a green tea extract.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that thing's good.
Not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad. It's not bad.
I like that. Yeah, no, for sure. But that being said, I want to get into my number 3. My number 3 is going to be, because you went vodka, I'm actually just going to go with, this is one of my favorite like go-tos, which is like, I like a vodka soda, but I actually like a vodka water with a lemon, specifically Tito's.
Teats, yeah.
Yeah.
You remind me of my aunt, who is my oldest aunt, and it's an Italian thing, but I call her Zia. And she is my favorite aunt. Like, fucking, she's kind of like gangster and shit like that. And, like, like of the family and shit like that, you call, well, let's talk about this. You call your family like different names, right?
For sure.
Based on like the nationality you are,
Yeah.
or based on just how your family is.
I had a Nana and I had a Lita. I've never had a grandma.
Yeah, I had a Noni and Nono, and I had a Mormor and Morfar, and
It's fucking Harry Potter or some shit.
like I got made fun of so much for like they're like, oh, we just call our fucking grandmas like grandma and grandpa. I'm like, I call my grandmas like Noni and Nono and shit like that.
Like,
You know what I mean? So people made fun of me for that shit, but I'm like, no, man. The last time I cried, I'm talking about this,
I was gonna say, man.
was when my Noni died. Like,
Yeah.
she died, and I fucking went home, went to her funeral. I had a bad like shoulder and shit like that, so I was a pallbearer. Like fucking, we're grabbing her fucking coffin, and I was like, dude, this shit fucking hurts. Like fucking, I was like, on the wrong side of this coffin right now. Like because
You
like,
gotta suck it up for
yeah, no. So I sucked it up. I sucked it up. And fucking my grandpa died, and that was the first time like I saw like my parents cry and shit like that.
Oh,
And,
yeah. Isn't that weird?
and so but they fucking when my Noni died, it was like the end of it all. So I went to my friend's house, and then I was like, I can't handle this shit anymore. So I started crying. I walked home, like I was like bawling my eyes out, and then fucking we were talking about it before. Like I was the only child, so I fucking went upstairs, and there was like a towel rack, and I ripped the towel rack off the wall, and I like punch holes like through like the shit because I was just like trying to deal with like too much shit.
Yeah.
Like
Pent up, man.
it was just like pent up. I was trying to be the strong guy, and fucking at the end of the day, maybe I was a strong guy, maybe I was not, but I fucking ripped the towel rack off the wall and punched holes in the wall. And my mom was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Don't touch me right now. I'm crying."
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just like bawling my eyes out, and I just was like punching holes in this like cheap stucco wall.
Yeah,
And so, yeah.
it's a sensitive subject. I mean, I think we just kind of got on, but I will touch on that a little bit, and I will say like I always look at it like one thing that I always say is like your friends are your pillars. Your friends and family are your pillars. So it's like much how you have to lean on somebody, they have to lean on you as well. So it's like you could be the guy for everybody in those situations, but you definitely have to lean some way eventually.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's rough for sure. But anyway, yeah. Let's finish this thing out. So, man, hit me with your 4 and 5, and I'll give you my 4 and 5. We'll move on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, like, yeah, what do you got, man? What's your 4 or 5?
For drinks?
Yeah.
I would say after a vodka cranberry, I would say maybe a Moscow Mule.
You like a Moscow Mule? All right.
A Moscow Mule, but if you're trying to have Moscow Mules at like my house, I ain't fucking breaking out the fucking brass glasses. You know what I mean?
I do like that though. I think that's like a good little like gift to give people.
This is a good gift to give people.
Like a little like Moscow Mule set for sure.
Who are you? Like, who you like to like give a Moscow Mule? I don't know.
Well, it's gotta be somebody who drinks a lot of vodka.
Yeah.
All right. So hit me with your 5 then. There's one on the table that I think is like you're just overlooking that I hope you don't say right now because I'm gonna hit my 4 or 5 after. And if I can clean up with a 4 and 5 on this one, I think I'm gonna be in a good spot.
My 5 is a whiskey and water. I'm a whiskey guy.
Okay. All right. So you went back to the well. All right. You already got your Jameson ginger.
Jameson ginger, a whiskey and water. I'll go to the bar and I'll say, "Hey, give me a whiskey and water."
Okay. I'm gonna put this one out there because I feel like we just didn't hit it. Bloody Mary. I think in the morning, and a morning Bloody Mary is spot on. And then I'm gonna finish it off with my 5 is gonna be an Aperol Spritz because, or no, a Negroni. Yeah, because I think those are like daytime drinks, and like when I was like chilling around in like London and Ireland and shit, like you can literally just drink that all day.
I'm talking about like morning stuff. But I'm a Bloody Mary guy too.
I know this. That's why I was wondering. I was like, oh man, I don't think he's gonna hit that one.
You're right. But I gotta say, how much spice do you like on your Bloody Mary?
A lot. I like a lot. I like a lot of spice. I want you to hit me. I want you to hit me hard.
I want to feel it, right?
Yeah.
Like fucking.
Yeah. I'm trying to feel something at that point. If I'm having a Bloody Mary, chances are I had a really rough night.
Okay, so what is the worst thing and best thing about like a Bloody Mary that fucking you feel when drinking a Bloody Mary? Like, okay, if we are going to a restaurant, because that's more ordering a Bloody Mary and shit like that, you know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, what is the worst thing or the best thing that you could get about a Bloody Mary in that situation?
The worst thing is, for me, it's a hard transition. Where you have Bloody Mary and it's hard to transition off the Bloody Mary.
Yeah, but is it too spicy?
Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay. So
is it like
okay.
about the actual drink?
I think if it just falls a little flat, like there's not enough flavor in the drink. Like I'm a big horseradish guy.
I am a big horseradish guy too, bro. Like,
I'm telling you, that's what makes a Bloody Mary.
Like if I go to Arby's, I'm ordering extra horsey sauce because
and like also Worcestershire. Like if you're not hitting it with Worcestershire, yeah,
there's a proper amount of Worcestershire sauce that you need, and a proper amount of horseradish that you need. You have that. You have to have that tingle in your tongue.
Yep.
Like if you're not having that tingle in your tongue and it's a little too like syrupy or a little fucking too like sweet, like I'm not ordering a Bloody Mary to like fucking have like a sweet drink and shit like that. I want a little spice and I want a little fucking actually spice with the Worcestershire, but more the horseradish.
You're just trying to get out of where you were before. You know what I mean? You're trying to like kind of like kick the dog a little bit, you know, hair the dog.
Yeah.
And it's the perfect hair of the dog drink, but it's got to hit you hard and it's got to be flavorful. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I want it to taste like tomato bisque with a little spice.
Spice. Yeah. Spice is the thing. Spice is the thing. Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Fucking. Now you're talking with a son of a bitch. Like Hair of the Dog. That was a song by those guys. Whoever they were. But fucking yes. I 100% agree that like fucking you need a little spice in your Bloody Mary.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, undeniable. You can't order like are there people that order a Bloody Mary and they're like not spicy, please?
Tons of them, and that's a thing about Arby's too. I remember you went to Arby's and you have 5 sandwiches for $5, and they would have horsey sauce, and it would taste like actual horseradish. But now you go to Arby's, and the horsey sauce it doesn't taste like horseradish. Like, you want that kick in it. You want that kick in the horseradish.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I think that kind of adds it up there. What were your 5? Go through your 5 real quick. Do you remember?
My 5. Number 1, Jameson and ginger.
Yeah, fucker. Yeah.
Because if you're having a good time and you're going out, like you just say Jim, it's like
Jimbo Ginger. Yeah.
Like fucking thank you. I had a friend, he's still my friend. His name is, we call him Dago.
Yeah, I'm not Dago.
Yeah, you know Dago.
No.
Fucking Jameson and ginger. He knew what he liked. Jameson and ginger all the time.
Yeah.
Like, you're not saying whiskey and soda, you're saying Jameson and ginger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the second one was, I can tell you the third one was vodka fucking cranberry.
Yeah.
Second one was, you said beer.
I can go through my.
What would you go through your top 5 beers though? Like I love Mexican beer. I love
that's a staple here.
I love Tecate, like
Tecate, Modelo.
I would say for my Mexican beers, Tecate, Modelo. I would say Corona is like one of my last.
It's like
beers.
third. Yeah.
It's not a good. It's really not that good of a beer. But if I got a good Tecate in me, that's like we're talking about after a hard day's work. Like fucking, give me a Tecate. But I have to be doing some manual labor.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's certain breweries that I really, really like for sure. So like the Deschutes.
Stone Brew. Yeah.
Stone is really good. Deschutes is really good.
Yeah.
What's the other one? Very, very popular. It's weird. I can like remember the tap handles, but I can't remember the actual fucking brewery.
Well, the thing about Washington and San Diego is like they fucking. The greatest thing is they had like their own like they're making breweries and shit. Like I fucking one time in San Diego, I went and visited my friends and shit like that, and we bought a little bit of weed, and he was like, I'm fucking brewing my own beer. And so I bought the local brewery beer at the same time. Like, you know what I mean? And it was delicious beer. Like, if you have good home brewed beer, that is what is it. That is what it is. That is what it is. Like, you know what I mean? So, anyways, besides the memes, besides us like talking about stuff, I'm just gonna talk about stuff right now because a cool ass like a superhero costume. And I don't really want to talk about superheroes right now, but if there was a superhero that could be made up by AI, actually, I want to talk about AI. I want to talk about AI because my costume right now, it was made up by AI. And if you look up Musubi and AI, like most of those AIs don't even know what it is. Like you got to put spam sushi, you got to put spam nigiri. Like
it is pretty fickle. So like the big thing is like Instagram now is they have an AI feature.
Yeah.
And like you can just kind of punch stuff in, but it's like it doesn't really get as close as you want it. I think GIFs are actually still better. Like you can type in something for like a GIF and it pops up.
GIFs are hilarious.
Right? Yeah.
Like anytime I'm gonna prove my point and you know, I got a little anxiety about like shit, group text and all that shit. But I'll throw a GIF in there and I'll be like, hey, did my job.
Effort.
I did my job in the group text.
Yeah.
Even though it was like more effort than the average man.
You responded.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, fucking. I work at a place, and my girl of interest, my girlfriend, works at a place, and she was like, "Hey, do you want to be in our fucking lunch group text?" And I was like, "No, because this is just a group text that I'm not gonna like respond to."
Like you, square pizza today.
Yeah. I guess I have weird anxiety about shit like that.
Mm.
But it's good to talk about because fucking, hey, people have anxiety, and I have a weird anxiety about group. So
Yeah, I don't really get anxiety about anything like specific necessarily. But like I do get really, really bad anxiety sometimes, where it's
Yeah.
just kind of like
We're all human, like
you
fucking,
just feel
you know,
fucking awkward and shit.
yeah, yeah.
Like it's just and you're trying to make it work and it's all in your head. I think that's the big thing. It's like
It's in your head. Like,
it's a reflection thing. So if you go in and you're kind of like, yeah, man, it's probably just you,
Yeah.
like I don't know. That's a whole thing. But yeah, man, AI. You know what? Actually, like I've been doing recently, which I like a lot, is the Chat GBT.
ChatGPT is amazing. If you Google all the AI stuff, is like fucking amazing.
So
It's great.
I've been using it for like instances where it's like like I got a couple different interviews and stuff like that, and so like I say like like write me a follow up for the interview.
Funny, because I did the same exact thing.
Right? Like it's nice. It gives you a template. It's like a template to work off of. It's obviously you have to like work it a little bit.
Brainstorming, yeah, it helps you brainstorm creativity.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny because I had a meeting with the boss at the place I work and shit.
Yeah.
And I straight up told her, I'm like, hey, I guess we're working for the state or working for the government or whatever like that. But I'm like, these last questions are like bullshit. I'm like, I already work here, so what I gotta like reapply for this shit? And she was like, it's so I said, hey, do I really gotta do this or can I just put I fucking work here right now and and not say all this like bullshit? They're like, give me an example of how you follow the rules and shit. I'm just like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm a fucking seventh grader. Like,
I work here and have not been fired. So
yeah.
It seems like I'm following the rules.
I show up every day when nobody, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some interesting questions on like interviews and stuff.
But it was like it's like through the state and shit like that. So they're like, hey, you have to have a proper question. And we had a new boss that transitioned. And actually,
transition.
Yeah, but our boss is hella cool. Well, she pretty much, she was like, you passed the mic check and shit like that. I'm like, you know what I don't like is I just don't like fucking people not being honest with each other, and there's like too much bureaucracy, bullshit.
Mm.
And she's like, I feel that. And I was like, hey, you seem pretty cool. Like, she was like, oh, I think I like that about you too. And I was just like, okay.
Yeah. Well, review time?
Bro.
Tell me about it. So
our movie review is Flowers of the Flower Moon. The new Martin Scorsese movie, Killers of the Flower Moon. And that's how I know Martin Scorsese. He has a great rep. The Irishman was actually like really good, but I couldn't get through. I took a nap about Killers of the Flower Moon.
So here's the thing, right? Martin Scorsese loves Leonardo DiCaprio. Those guys, like, they come in, they do great movies, obviously, all the time. And so you feel like you go into the movie and you're like, it's gotta be good.
Yeah. You have a bias that it's gonna be good.
Yeah. Right? You do. But like to be honest with you, like I had to like chop that movie up. I didn't understand. Like I was like, "What the fuck is going on? Are we talking about fucking diabetes right now? Or are we talking about like the Indian culture, like the Native American culture? Like what the fuck are we talking about?"
It was like obviously these guys were dicks, and obviously like fucking. It was a true story, but so slow. Like fucking, I slept. I had to cut it out in like 2 times and shit like that. Like, I just want to see Martin Scorsese direct mob movies.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
I think it was a reach, right? It was kind of a reach for like everybody, where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna do this like movie about like Native Americans," and it's like, you're never gonna do it justice. You're never gonna do it justice. Like people like just don't understand. You know, like it's like they were colonized. Like it was like one of these things. They're just trying to fucking.
We get it. The whites were assholes to the Native Americans, but
the whites are assholes to everybody, man. Look at the Jews.
Well, I mean, Jews are whites too.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
the whites are just, or the Jews are just curly-haired whites.
Big noses. There, I said it.
Yeah. Yeah.
But hey, man. Yeah, I don't know. So the movie was. Can you summarize the movie for me? Like, what was it really about?
I could summarize a movie to you in 5 words.
Okay.
Leonardo DiCaprio. He's slow.
Okay.
Ending of it was like, oh, all this stuff is happening at the ending, but the middle was just mush. Like fucking.
Yeah.
How? Like it's 3.5 hours long. Like fucking, you're wasting your day watching that shit. Like fucking, you're wasting after work. And once the girl got diabetes, you're like, she got diabetes. We know what you're doing. Like fucking, why are you prolonging this shit?
I like how they had that like little thing though, where like insulin. We got this new drug. We inject it in your belly, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, I guess that was like maybe something that was overlooked. Like we always look at like smallpox and stuff like that. You know what I mean? How that was introduced to like some of the tribes. But I don't know. It's a hard watch.
But that was
for a Leonardo DiCaprio movie with Martin Scorsese as the director, it was a hard watch. Agreed?
It was a hard watch. Yeah. Like, the fucking truth of the story was awesome because it was, they had oil on their land, but it was like fucking, there's people telling them how to spend their money and shit like that.
It's basically like winning the lottery, right? Like you see the people that win the lottery and they're like poor, but suddenly they're rich and they lose all their money.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Something like that.
It was a bad movie.
We'll do better on the next one, maybe, hopefully. You gotta watch some bad movies to know what the good ones are.
Yeah.
Right?
But The Irishman was 3.5 hours long. I like that movie. The ending was sad, but...
Is that the one where they're trying to blow him up in the car?
That was about
was that Kill
Jimmy Hoffa.
Yeah. That was a true story too. That was cool.
The best movie though, fucking Goodfellas. Not Goodfellas. Was it? Yeah, it was Goodfellas.
Goodfellas is a good movie. Yeah.
Like, and he fucked up in the end, but he's like, "Hey, I'm a schmuck." What'd you expect? Yeah. Ray Liotta. But that was some good shit. But Martin Scorsese is like a gangster director, and he tries to push the boundaries. And so The Irishman was good.
Hey, you know what happens when you push the boundaries, man? Sometimes you fucking find them.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Sometimes you should step a little bit back.
Let's go back to what works, brother.
Controversial opinion. That is a controversial take right there.
Yeah, that's...
Lizzie Fates, controversial take.
Yeah.
Maybe it's true.
Hot take from a hot dog. Let's go.
Right? That's what we're talking about.
We were actually getting into this one. I like this one a lot. Where so moving into sports a little bit, but we were talking about the player debate as far as like the best player debate, which I fucking I fucking hate that.
Christian McCaffrey, bro.
I mean, you can't compare them, right? You can't really compare.
It has to be on a good team. Like you don't know what a good team is. You don't know what a good team is until they play the season. Like right now, I mean, I hate to say it, but you had some good calls about some Lions players, and the Lions are fucking. Lions are good, like fucking.
The Lions are America's team right now.
Because Detroit Rock City, Detroit Rock City.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is like you can't compare like old to new, right? So like one of the biggest debates is you talk about Michael Jordan versus LeBron James.
That's true. Different eras.
Different eras, but one thing that'll summarize all of this, which I love, is I always say this, where it's like you stand on the shoulders of giants, right? So LeBron James wouldn't be LeBron James if it wasn't for
Michael Jordan.
Correct. Yeah.
And it's a different era of basketball. Like fucking. Is it how many points you make? Is it how you make your team win? Is it? It could be anything. And the 80s and 90s were, let's agree about this. The 80s and 90s were a tougher team of American sports.
No, not agree to this. No, I do. That's a simple one. Yeah, it's different, right? Like people they're bred differently. Obviously.
Like they'll be like, I got a concussion. We're not going to the concussion protocol tent. We are playing.
Put me in, coach.
We're playing with this concussion right now.
They want to.
Yeah.
They want to play. They want to be there. And I mean, we can get into this because, like, honestly, there's some guys on your team too where it's like the big thing is Debo. Like everybody's like asking, is Debo going to play?
Yeah.
And I think he is going to play. But he's like kind of one of those guys where it's like, like he gets hurt. Tyreek is kind of like that too, where it's like, oh, I'm hurt. Look, let me sit off on the sideline. And he comes in and fucking just ropes off a 90-yard touchdown, which,
but
good for you. But
they are recently, saying like if you're playing football and stuff like that, like CTE is real, all that shit. It's like fucking. You didn't know the repercussions about that until like recently. Yes.
Antonio Brown, bro, that guy's got like you see that fucker on the golf?
No, I haven't seen him golfing.
He hits it with like one hand, and he wears like the most absurd shit. Like, yeah, they're just like, dude, CTE is real.
Like, if your brain is injured and shit like that, like.
Yeah.
Fucking A. Like, repeated hits to your brain is no joke.
But like honestly, all right, let's take it here. As somebody who's like supposed to hate San Francisco, I do always hope that like my friends' teams get close.
Me too. Like I'm like West Coast teams versus East Coast teams.
Yeah. So like I do. It's this is a hard one because like for me like I do have a lot of love in the Lions right now.
That's a good call, and I do too. Actually, like fucking.
They're hard not to like.
Niners versus the Lions, like as long as the fucking whoever beats the Chiefs, like that's
the big one, right? It's like nobody wants the Chiefs to go.
Yeah,
we're done with Taylor Swift. Stop it, please.
Like,
although Jason Kelce, that's pretty awesome.
Jason Kelce.
Did you see him?
Travis Kelce, yeah.
Like just jumping out of the freaking suite and just like.
No, I haven't seen.
Oh, dude, yeah, he like literally was in the suite with like Taylor Swift, and he's like, he crushes a beer, he jumps out, he grabs the child, he shows the child to like fucking Simba, to Taylor Swift.
Oh, someone.
Yeah. I was like, what a G, man. He's such a G. But yeah, that's the
thing. Yeah, for the Seattle Seahawks, Marshawn Lynch is like pretty much like the best person. Like
if Marshawn Lynch is not in your top 5 people, I don't know what the fuck you're doing. So I know this girl, and she does like podcasts and stuff like that. And she has connections with the Seahawks. And one of her big things is she goes in and she always says, like, who's your favorite Seahawks player? Right? And everybody always does this where they try and be like the cool guy.
Oh, Sean Alexander.
Yeah.
Sean Alexander jersey. Like,
Yeah.
fucking get off. Yeah, right.
So they do shit like
So back. Yeah.
But like, if you're not saying Marshawn Lynch, you're a fucking liar.
Bro.
You're lying. You're lying.
Marshawn Lynch, yeah. Top 5 greatest people ever. Like,
Just
he's like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna do this Thanksgiving. I'm giving turkeys out to all the homeless people.
dude. He's
Like,
fucking.
He's fucking.
But he's him. So it's like it's literally like
He's like, I'm not gonna talk to the media for the whole time until he's like, I'm getting fined for this or whatever like that.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm gonna talk to the media, and he's just like, hey, like, what's up?
So the funny thing is, like, when he was in Cal, there's like a video of him, and he basically like stole like one of the carts, and he was like rolling around in it,
Yeah,
just in the cart, like on the field. And I was like, he would still do that
yeah,
to this day.
yeah.
Like, he would still do that. That's him.
Yeah.
Like,
Amazing, like, human being.
yeah,
Like,
I agree, man. Yeah,
this Cal, he inspired them actually to get like the face paint under their eyes. He put the 619 on their eyes.
I will
He's
say like
like-
my favorite Seahawks player that was like, I mean, Marshawn Lynch is definitely fucking top dude.
Tyler Lockett.
No, well, I did like Tyler Lockett though. So like, I told my dad this one where I was like, when they drafted Tyler Lockett, I was like, yo, you don't understand. This guy was the captain of the team from a wide receiver position, which you'll never see.
Gangster.
Yeah.
Fucking so good. Like,
Yeah, so it's like he's like kind of like just really good. But like my favorite person was like Cam Chancellor, because like Cam Chancellor is like one of those guys where it's like you hit that guy and he's like made of fucking steel.
yeah, he's Marshawn Lynch too.
He jumps over like the O line like it's twice.
Yeah.
Like it's nothing. You know, and I don't know. That shit's fucking just.
He's a superstar. He's gonna be a superstar. Freaking-
Dude.
there was a reason that Russell Wilson was a G on that team and not so good on the Broncos. You know what I mean?
You hear he's like possibly going to Oakland.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not Oakland. Sorry, Vegas Raiders.
Yeah, LB,
Yeah.
LB Raiders.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, well, I guess
I
we'll
mean-
see how that works out.
Jimmy Garoppolo is like fucking man. He's a good guy, but
I will say Russell Wilson's a better quarterback.
Jimmy Garoppolo just gets hurt every single season.
Mhm.
Like,
Mhm.
you know, he's good until he gets hurt,
Yeah.
and he's just soft for the team. Like, freaking, they're doing good. Rallies around, but then he gets hurt. Like, he's not like a strong quarterback that can get through like a whole season.
Mhm.
Like, you're expecting him to get hurt.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of one of those guys that you're like, you know, he's good, but I'm not in this thing.
Yeah, No.
You can't do it. Can't do it.
he's not going to be on the fantasy team. My fantasy team.
Not mine either.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that being said, man, you want to get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
Let's get out of here. All right, guys. It's been
It's been real. It's been fun. We
Yeah.
got a lot of stuff.